This is Inside Out, Chapter 17. Letter from Miss Emily Wasted to Dr. Cal Curtis. This was the moment I got home. Walking into the house and through the kitchen, I saw Zach on the deck, the barrel of the rifle in his mouth. He looked so relaxed, almost happy. I called out to him, and he actually smiled at me. Alan and Joey talk softly together. I can't really hear what they're saying, but after a while, Joey starts to cry. I don't know what exactly is making him cry right now. I know people usually feel sorry for somebody who's crying, but I don't feel sorry for him. I don't mean that to sound bad. I don't want people to hate me, but I don't feel anything much for people. That's just the way my brain doesn't work. So now I just sit here and watch the tears rolling down Joey's face and the snot dripping out of his nose. I may not feel anything, but I know what I should do. I should help them, like I promised. So I just sit still and keep the news about their guns not working to myself. When Dr. Kurt comes, everything will be okay. Alan puts his arm around his brother and says, "I'm sorry I got you into this, Joey." Now Alan starts to cry too. I watch them both. But now the weirdest thing happens. Suddenly I notice a tear running out of the corner of my eye and down my cheek. I put my finger up and touch the tear. I put the tear in my mouth and taste it. It's salty. Wow, maybe I do feel sad for them. Maybe I'm crying because I feel sad. Maybe I'm not so crazy after all. Maybe I'm getting better. Alan turns to me and says, "Are you okay, Zach?" "Huh?" I ask. I'm still thinking about the tear. "Yeah, sure, I guess." Suddenly I remember what Alan and I were talking about earlier, before Alan's face almost got shot. I remember Alan's question about when I first knew I was sick. I never answered him. I say, "I'm okay, Alan." And I remember when I first knew I was sick, too. For a second, Alan looks like he doesn't know what I'm talking about, but now I can see by his expression that he remembers. He asks, "Oh yeah, when did you know?" "After," I say. "After?" Alan asks. "After what?" I pause a second. "After I tried to kill myself. After that, I knew I was sick." "I'm real hungry, Alan. Can't we go get a maple bar from out front?" That's the end of Chapter 17. Chapter 18. Letter from Miss Emily Wasted to Dr. Cal Curtis. Zach just said, "I'm going to shoot myself, Mom." But before he could get his mouth back down to the gun, I took the rifle away. "But Mom," Zach said again, "I'm going to shoot myself." "Not today, honey," I said, and then I burst into tears. Alan and Joey both stare at me. People get real quiet when they hear about suicide. Maybe Alan and Joey are freaked out. Alan asks, "You tried to kill yourself?" "Yeah," I answer. Joey says, "You tried to kill yourself. What did you do, screw that up too?" Alan gives Joey a shut. "Shut up!" I say, "I did try, Joey, really. I was going to shoot myself, but my mom got home and wouldn't let me." Joey laughs and says, What did you do, ask her permission?" I answer, "No, she just got home." Alan shakes his head. I know lots of times people don't say what they're thinking, but Alan's face looks so sad. Even I can tell that he feels bad for me, like my mom did when she saw me with the gun that day. "Christ, Zach," Alan says, his voice kind of shaky. "Why'd you do that?" "Why'd you want to do that?" He stops. "I mean, how bad can it be?" I don't know what to say. Joey is quiet too. I finally say, mostly because I think I should say something, "It's okay, Alan, don't worry." Alan says, "I'm sorry, Zach. I guess you got it pretty bad, man. Are you ever going to get better?" I remember what Dr. Kurt has told me about my brain and my illness. I answer Alan truthfully, "No, probably not. But it's okay, Alan." I wish I could explain to Alan and Joey about going to the hospital that afternoon, after I tried to kill myself. I can't find the right words, but I still remember it. It seemed like a long ride back to Clearwater. Mom drove us down Highway 195 southbound, driving fast. I kept thinking that if I just opened the door of the car and dove out onto my head, I'd die for sure. Then everything would just be over. No more dirtbag and rat, no more confusion, no more anything. I watched the pavement race by, staring at the white lane bump markers as they flickered past. After a while, I realized that I hadn't heard the new voices since I'd started to pull the trigger. It was like dirtbag and rat knew that if I died, they wouldn't get to torture me anymore. I smiled at that thought, and right then Mom happened to look over at me. "You okay, Zach?" "I don't know." "Are the voices bothering you?" "No. I'm just thinking about the white dots and dying." Mom said, "I know, honey. Dr. Curtis is going to talk to us about all this, okay? He's going to help us." "Okay," I said. I didn't even feel sad or upset that I hadn't been able to kill myself right. It didn't even matter to me. Neither of us said anything else the rest of the way to Clearwater. I won't tell Alan and Joey any more about it, though. Alan seems bummed enough as it is. He looks like he's ready to kill himself just thinking about how bad it would be to be me. Alan says, "I'm sorry, Zach. Sorry you're so screwed up. You're a nice guy. It's too bad." He says this without looking at me, staring at the ground. Joey stares at the ground too. I think he'd almost like to say something, but he can't. I know it's hard for Joey to say anything nice to me. He reminds me of the kids from school who are scared to treat me different than their friends treat me, so they're mean. I never know what to say to those kids. I don't know what to say to Joey either. I finally say to Alan, I'm not messed up like that anymore, Alan. I pause and think about it. At least I don't want to kill myself today. I don't want to die right now. Alan says, that's good, Zach. You're doing better now, huh? Joey interrupts. Everybody dies someday. Most people, whether they want to or not, you know. At least Zach still has a choice, not like Mom. It's stupid for him to kill himself when he doesn't have to die. Alan just looks at Joey. Maybe, Alan says. But maybe Zach doesn't have any more choice than Mom does about being sick. Listening to Alan, I remember more about being back in the hospital that second time. I remember Dr. Kurt talking to me about the new voices, helping me to understand about Dirtbag and Rat, the meanest bastards anywhere. These new mean voices might come after you again, especially if you don't take your medicine. But if you're brave enough, Zach, you can fight them. You probably can't destroy them, but you can refuse to let them destroy you. Dr. Kurt's a nice guy, but he doesn't know everything. He doesn't know how bad Dirtbag and Rat can be, and I know there's only one thing that's going to get rid of them for good. Only one thing that... The phone rings and it's the cops. Alan talks to them. Actually, he listens. All he says is good, then he hangs up. He turns to Joey and me and says, Dr. Curtis is on his way. Clearwater Hospital is about 18 miles south of Spokane, so it's taking Dr. Kurt a while to get here. I'm worried. I look at my watch. It's 5:03. I'm an hour and a half late for my medicine. I'm scared of Dirtbag and Rat. I need to think about something else, anything else. I have an idea, I say to Alan and Joey. Do you guys think if we snuck out the back door real quietly, we could get out of here? I could get my medicine, and you wouldn't have to worry about jail. And Alan interrupts. What? I ask again, could we just sneak out the back door? And Alan interrupts again. What back door? I point to the closet and say the one in there. Alan quickly goes over and opens the door to the little back room. He peeks inside. Jesus, Joey, Alan whispers, there's a back way out of here. Joey says, you kidding me? Alan answers, no, for real, look at this. Joey hurries over and looks into the back room too. Alan says, maybe the cops don't know about this. Maybe we can make a run for it. I blurt out, a run for your money! Although I'm not even sure what I mean or why I say it. My head is starting to hurt real bad. It's a feeling I know too well. But Alan smiles at me and says, a run for our money. Yeah. And that is the end of chapter 18.